What's up guys, this is Massey. Welcome to another video. In this video I want to show you some examples regarding finding the derivative of trigonometric functions. Before I start the first example, I just want to have a quick review. The derivative of sine x is cosine x, derivative of cosine x is negative sine x, derivative of tan x is secant squared x or 1 plus tan squared x, derivative of cotan x is negative cosecant squared x or negative times 1 plus cotan squared x. Derivative of secant x is secant x times tan x. Derivative of cosecant x is negative cosecant x times cotan x. So the first example I'm going to show you is square root of cosine 5x times secant 5t. I'm gonna show you in two different ways to do it. First of all, square root is the same as to the power of 1/2. That's x. And we know u to the power of n, the derivative will be n times u to the power of n minus 1 times u prime. We have the same situation here. 1 over 2 times cosine 5x times secant 5x times, that's going to be the derivative of it, which is going to be the u prime. And then I need to write this part, cosine 5x times secant 5x to the power of 1 over 2 minus 1, which is going to be negative 1 over 2. Now let's find out the derivative of this part, which will be u prime v plus v prime u. Derivative of cosine 5x is 5 times negative sine 5x times secant 5x plus cosine 5x times 5 times secant 5x tan 5x multiplied by cosine 5x times secant 5x to the power of negative 1 over 2. Then you have it in the denominator 2 square root of cosine 5x secant 5x. In numerator I have negative 5 sine 5x secant 5x plus 5 cosine 5x times secant 5x plus cosine 5x times tan 5x. Actually, this one is multiplication, so it's going to be 5 cosine 5x secant 5x times tan 5x. So we don't need to write. So that's 5 cosine 5x times secant 5x times tan 5x. Then I can say negative 5 sine 5x. Instead of secant 5x, I can write 1 over cosine. So it's going to be sine 5x over cosine 5x plus 5. Here you have cosine 5x. Secant is 1 over cosine. And here tan is going to be sine 5x over cosine 5x over 2 root cosine 5x secant 5x. Now, cosine and cosine cancels out. Here we have negative 5 sine 5x over cosine 5x. Here I have 5 sine 5x over cosine 5x. These are exactly the same with different sign. So it's going to be 0. The derivative of this function is going to be 0. Now let me find the derivative of this function in another method, which is going to be a lot easier than this. That says f of x equals to square root of cosine 5x times secant 5x. I can write it as cosine 5x times 1 over cosine 5x. Cosine 5x over cosine 5x is going to be 1. Square root of 1 is going to be 1. So f of x is 1. So f prime x is going to be, for any constant number, it's going to be 0. So as you see here, it is much easier to use a little bit of trigonometric identities before we start differentiating the function. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment if you have any question and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching and have a great day.